How's everyone doing? Thank you so much. It's good to see you both.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Katie.
How are you?
Melissa, it's interesting, right? Because, we meet these characters right away and we're very interested in their backstory and their interests, kind of moving back to this small town. There's mystery about your family and everything. What's it like kind of reading all those elements? Because it's more than just kind of like cars, right? There's a lot of kind of elements. What's that script to screen journey like reading all these elements in Motorheads and seeing it come to life on screen, so to speak?
I mean, I think the way that you said it, that it's not just about cars. I think what attracted me from when I first read the script, even before I booked the part, is that I think the car for Caitlin isn't. It's not about a car. It's like it's her dad,
Mhm.
and it's the closest she's ever had to him. So I think if she can successfully restore it and hear that engine, it'll be like hearing his voice for the first time. And I thought that that was
Mhm.
kind of such a beautiful metaphor that in like working and restoring this car, she's sort of like healing that part of herself as much as she can. Uh,
Totally.
and yeah, just all those layers. Yeah, it's like it's not a car for her. It's her dad, and I thought that that was beautiful.
No, absolutely. And Natalie, I find it interesting, right? Because I love how the flashbacks are done in this show. And it's interesting because you might or might have worked on shows in the past that have like flashbacks in it, but your character is not part of the flashbacks. I'm wondering if there is like a mindset or interest in the fact that like you play a character that we are going to see in like a past life in a past time, right? Like, what is that mindset like? Because it's very important for the story as well, right? Like, I'm just wondering what's that like kind of being part of a flashback that I feel like it's very important in this story.
Well, they had an actress playing the younger version of me.
Yep.
So that was trippy. So I guess, I have to see it. I haven't seen those flashback scenes. So
Mhm.
the experience of it was, I wasn't really doing the flashback scenes because
What about reading it though? Like reading,
oh,
knowing that
reading
we're gonna
it.
go back in time a little bit.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, like you said, I've never really done a project where they've gone so deep into the flashbacks, and I think it's a really interesting narrative device. But I have to watch it and see how it turned out.
Yeah, absolutely. And Melissa, you can answer this also with like your experience of One of Us is Lying and Freaky because these are such big worlds and big projects. But it's like, I have my filmmaker hat on because I make films as well when I think about this because we might see some kind of scenes with your character and it might be like 2 or 3 minutes of runtime, but there's a good chance that that scene maybe took like a couple of days to film. You know what I mean? When that happens, does it feel like its own mini project or mini movie, those big scenes, or is it a big overall part of the project for you?
Yeah, I mean it does feel like its own mini project. I also think like we shooting in blocks, like we'd have a new director every two episodes. So
Yep.
it felt like every two episodes it did feel like um its own different project, even though there is that consistent through line. But the pilot especially sort of felt like we were shooting a movie.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Protect Marcel at all costs, by the way. Like that is like, 10 minutes in, I'm like, this character needs to be protected.
He's a puppy. I love him. He's a little puppy we never had. So no, absolutely.
Absolutely. Natalie, I did want to also ask, there's also like playing these kind of lost characters, doing soul searching, figuring things out. Like, I'm just wondering from your perspective as an like from an acting storyteller perspective, do you find it more fun, more challenging, more interesting playing these kind of lost characters doing soul searching, self-reflection? Because from the viewer perspective, they don't know they're lost, right? So I'm just wondering if you want if what you think about playing those kind of self-reflection characters.
Oh, it's interesting that she came off as lost. Um, but I definitely think that there's like a seeking happening with Samantha, which I think so many of us can resonate with. And this trajectory in her life of not finding what she was looking for in New York after having imagined that it would be this one thing, and then realizing that the thing that she's looking for was, where she had begun her whole journey and this full circle moment with Ironwood. That's something that I resonate with personally as well, having, left my family and my home 20 years ago and now thinking like very seriously about wanting to go back. And
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people can resonate. And so I'm hoping it's as powerful for as people watching it as it was for me to recreate.
Absolutely. And Melissa, I do find it interesting because I love, and I think you, Michael, and Ryan do an amazing job with this because, you move back to town and you're with your uncle again, trying to figure out about your father's past. And your character is very interested in, the mechanic component of the cars, knows the ins and outs and that, right? But then you also have like, Michael's character who's just interested in racing, you know what I mean? So the conversations that you're both going to have with, Logan are going to be different, so to speak. So I'm wondering if you noticed that a little bit, because I find that really interesting as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think they're twins, so there's this like intrinsic similarity to them, but the way that I always like compare Caitlin and Zach is that they're very yin and yang. Like they operate in opposite ways, but there's like this like core element of each other in each other. Um, yeah, I think Zach does and then thinks, and I think Caitlin thinks and then does.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a very present theme throughout the whole shoot, that they sort of operate in opposites way, down to like she fixes, he drives. There's a lot of like
Yes.
opposites. Yeah.
I love it. And I love how every episode I learn more about all these characters and I'm invested, I'm interested in their backstories. But then I also love that when that's happening and there's kind of the mystery unfolding about your father's past and everything, there is also this lead up that there might or might not be a race, and there might or might not be a car to be fixed for a race. So I love that. And I can't wait for people to see Motorheads on Prime Video. So great chatting with both of you. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Petey. Have a good day.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.